Hi guys, this is Sadak from Derpfest.com, and in this video, we'll show you how to flash the latest Derpfest ROM based on Android 15 onto your Galaxy A52s 5G. So please take a backup of all the data on your phone and then let's get started. First and foremost, you will have to get hold of the ROM zip file. So get it from this link. Next up, you will have to get hold of the latest Android SDK platform tools. So you may get hold from this link and then extract them onto your PC as well. Let me show you the files of platform tools. Just give me a second, it should be somewhat here. So these are the platform tools files. Once you have got it, you will now have to install the TWRP recovery onto your phone. I already made a video and a guide on the same, but still I'll show you once again how to get this job done. So first and foremost, you have to unlock the bootloader on your phone. Do note that unlocking will wipe off all the data and it might make the warranty null and void as well. Apart from that, it will trip the knocks, and due to which you will not be able to use any Samsung features such as Samsung Pay or secure folder, and they will not work even if you relock the bootloader because Knox is a hardware component. So keep this point in mind, and if it's all well and good, then you will have to either refer to my video or simply you have to enable USB debugging and OEM unlocking. After that, boot your phone to the download mode and then long press the volume up key to boot into the device unlock mode. Then once again press the volume up key. With this, your phone will undergo a wipe and the bootloader will be unlocked. After that, your last course of action is to verify the vault keeper as well. For that, you will have to go online and then make sure to re-enable developer options and verify that the OEM unlocking is enabled. So let me do the last part. I guess the last part might not be there on my phone. So first off, let me enable developer options. So about phone, software information, tap on build number 7 times. Now go back, developer options. So as you could see in my case, the OEM unlocking is not shown here. So what I have to do is connect my phone to the PC via USB cable. So I just have to connect my phone to the Wi-Fi. This will take a few seconds, so just wait for that to happen. And now I will just have to enter the password, and after that the OEM unlocking toggle should now be visible in a few seconds. Just give me a minute. Now let me connect to the Wi-Fi, and the connection has been established successfully. Once that is done, you will have to close the developer options from here. Then again go to the settings menu. From here go to developer options, and now let me show you. As you could see, OEM unlocking is enabled and grey out. So with this, we have bypassed the vault keeper. Likewise, you will now have to enable USB debugging as well. You will get a prompt on your phone, tap on OK. You might get one more prompt. In that prompt, tap on allow. And with this, the debugging is now enabled. Let's verify the same. So go to the address bar of platform tools, type in CMD and hit enter, or simply copy the path of platform tools from here. Open CMD from the start menu, then type in CD space, paste the path here. Now type in ADB devices and verify that you are getting an ID. If you are not getting any ID, then unplug and replug your phone from the PC. Disable and re-enable USB debugging. Tap on revoke USB debugging. Use the official USB cable that came with your phone and use the USB 2.0 port on your PC. So carry out these USB fixes and make sure that you are getting an ID. Once you are getting this ID, your next course of action is to boot your phone to the download mode. So let's get that job done as well. But before that, you will have to download the recovery file and the VB-Meta patch file. This file is required to turn off or disable the Android verified boot on your phone. So download the recovery file. The recovery file should be in the tar format. So you will see both the tar and IMG files, but you only have to download the tar file. So get it from here. And likewise, download the IMG file as well. Let me show you. The patch file, download it from this link, and this is the patch tar file. Download both the files, and once you have got this file, let's proceed ahead with the next step. So now you will have to get hold of the Odin tool. So get it from this link and extract them onto your PC. Let me show you the components and files of the Odin tool. So just a second. These are the files which you will get upon extraction of the Odin tool. Once you have got the tool, you will now have to boot your phone to the download mode. So for that, you could either use the hardware key combination. I have made a separate guide and a video on the same. Or you may also use the ADB command. As for now, I'm using the ADB command. So regarding this, you will have to get hold of the Android platform tools which we have got. Likewise, enable USB debugging. This is done as well. Finally, just type in the command of ADB reboot download, and your phone should now reboot into download mode. You may also use the hardware key combination. In that case, you will have to power off your phone, then press and hold the power volume up and volume down keys, and while holding both the key, connect your phone to the PC via USB cable, and your phone will then boot to the download mode. But I have used the ADB command because it's much easier to get this job done. And once you are in the download mode, you will now have to launch the Odin tool. So let's get that job done. Launched by the exe file. You will get a prompt, click on OK. And now make sure that you are getting the added message in the log. Likewise, the COM port should also be shown here. The COM4 in my case is the USB port. The COM number might vary in your case, but just make sure that a COM port is shown here. Now go to the option tab and please uncheck auto reboot. Then click on AP and load the recovery file. So this is the recovery tar file. And in the user data slot, you have to load the VB meta patch file, which is this. So make sure in the AP slot, you have to load the recovery file, and in the data slot, you have to load the patch file of VB meta patch file. Once that is done, just click on the start button and the flashing will now start and will take only a few seconds. So let's just wait for that to happen. And once the flashing is complete, you will now have to press and hold the power and the volume down keys for around 7 seconds. Then as soon as the phone is about to undergo a restart, let go of the keys and then press and hold the power and the volume up keys. So let me show you what I mean. First off, press and hold the power and the volume down keys and hold both the keys for around 7 seconds. And as soon as the phone gets powered off and is about to go a restart, now press and hold the power and the volume up keys. You will have to keep on holding both this key for around 7 seconds until the phone boots to the warning screen. So let's wait for a few more seconds and then you may let go of the keys as well. So a few more seconds and now release the key. And if you have pressed the keys at the right time, your phone should now reboot to the TWRP recovery. But if there is something wrong, if you have not pressed the key at the right time, then you will boot to the OS or the stock recovery. In that case, you will have to once again flash the recovery using the Odin tool. So let's verify what is the case in my phone. This will take just a few more seconds. And then we could proceed ahead. And as you could see, the recovery is there on my phone. But our task is half complete. You will now have to do a format data from the wipe section. This will wipe off all the data from your phone. But this is required to remove encryption and to mount the data partition. As of now, it's unable to mount the storage. So after doing a reboot of format, you will have to do a reboot to recovery. So with this, we have removed encryption and the data partition will now be remounted as well. Just give it a few more seconds for that to happen and then you could flash the ROM zip file. In the meantime, it's highly recommended that you transfer the ROM zip file inside the platform tools directory. This is the ROM file. Let's transfer it here. It will take a few seconds for the ease of convenience. Also rename it to ROM and the complete name becomes rom.zip. Once that is done, let's verify if our phone is able to read if our PC is able to read the phone or not. So in my case, my phone is shown in the PC, but it cannot access the storage. Well, it's not a major cause of concern. You could also use the adb push command to get this job done. Simply type in adb push, file name which is rom.zip, space / SD card, hit enter, and the file will now be transferred in the SD card of your phone. Do note that apart from SD card, you may also use the data or the temp directory, but it's recommended to go with the SD card. But apart from adb push, you may also use the USB OTG if you have, but please do not use the adb sideload. Sideloading should only be done with an AOSP recovery like Lineage OS recovery or CR2 recovery, but not with OrinFox or TWRP. It's not recommended to use that. Either use the USB mount, the OTG or the adb push command to get this job done. So with that said, the file is now being transferred and will take only a few more seconds. Let's just wait for that to happen. So guys, the file is now transferred. Let's verify the same. As you could see, the file is here. So we could now flash it. Just select the ROM zip file, swipe to flash. The flashing will now start and will take up to around 4 to 5 minutes at the very max, or I could see the flashing is very fast. So I guess it could take only up to 1 or 2 minutes. So let's just wait for the flashing to complete. So guys, the flashing is now complete. It only took a minute. So once the flashing of the ROM is done, you will now have to do a wipe. So for that, but before that, if you want to flash any other zip file, then first do a reboot to recovery and only then flash the file. Once you have flashed all the required files, you will now have to do a format data. So go to wipe, format data, type in yes and hit the blue check mark. The formatting is now complete. And after that, you will now have to also wipe the metadata and the cache partition as well. So let's do that as well. So again, go to advanced wipe, check mark the Dalvik art cache and metadata and swipe to wipe all these 3 partitions. The wiping is now complete and now you may tap on reboot system and your phone should now reboot to the newly flashed OS. Do keep in mind that the first boot up will take up some time. That is completely normal and nothing to worry about. From the subsequent time, that will not be the case. With that said, let's wait for the boot animation. or the boot logo to appear, either of which will signify that the flashing has been done successfully. So it might take a few more seconds for the boot animation to appear, and after that we will set up the ROM file, and then we will have a look at the ROM USB and the features as well. So just wait for a few more seconds, and then we will play the waiting game even longer because the ROM takes some time. And as you could see, this is the boot animation. So let's not wait for the ROM to boot up to the setup screen. So with this, we are now inside the setup screen. Let me choose file transfer for now, and let's get started. As of now, I am skipping the initial setup process. If you want, you may connect your phone to the Wi-Fi, link your Google account, and restore all the data. But for now, I am skipping all that just to fasten up the process of the setup. So let me skip this as well. And as you could see, we are now inside the OS, and it only has a basic few pre-installed GApps packages. And then we have a Viper FX, which is an audio mod. So you might already be aware of this audio mod. Then let's first have a look at some Android 15 features. Well, the QS tiles is completely transparent. This I haven't seen in any other custom ROM by default. Although you have the option to do the transparency, but out of the box, there is not transparency, but over here it's completely transparent. So you have the option of power menu in the QS tiles. Then apart from that, you could do a screen recording in just one single app as well. Let's have a look. So this is there. So as soon as you make a selection from this section, let's say you choose the Play Store app, then if you do a recording and start the recording from Play Store and make a switch to any other app, then the recording will pause and only resume once you are back inside the Play Store app. This is quite a handy feature. Then apart from that, you could see the new UI of the settings menu as well, and the volume panel is also the new revamped one. You could also add a new device from here and tweak the audio settings from this page. Add new ringtones. There are quite a lot of ringtones. As you could see, each of these sections have around 10 to 20 ringtones separate. Then apart from that, the private space is one more new feature in Android 15. You first have to set up a screen lock, and only then you could use the private space. For the ease of convenience, I'm using a pattern 3x3, which is not safe, so please use a stronger pattern. Anyways, with that said, let me use the private space and show you. So you may enable the private space from here and then add the required apps to the drawer. But I'm using the same screen lock as for the lock screen. It's recommended to go with a different lock to be on the safer side. But to speed up the process, I have done so. And as you could see, the private space is now made in the app drawer. You may unlock it using the password or PIN or fingerprint. And you could also add more apps from here. You even have the option to hide the private space from this section from the app drawer, and it should not be hidden upon a lock. You could unlock it from the apps menu or from the settings menu. So apart from that, let me see the back gesture. So this is the predictive back gesture, which will give you a sneak peek of what is behind the menu. Then the battery information page, let me see that as well. Battery count and all such things. This is the battery information where you get all the information over here. Battery optimizations for each particular apps, that is also there. And apart from that, you may check the battery stats, battery usage. So these are all quite handy features in Android 15. Now once that is done, apart from that, let's have a look at what else does it have to offer. In the system tweaks, you may get a few gestures. For all these gestures are the same that you get across all the AOSP ROMs. Lift to check phone, tap to check phone, swipe to take a screenshot. These are the same features that you get for all the AOSP based ROMs as well, so it's nothing new here. Then apart from that, you may update the ROM either from this section, or you may also update via from the recovery as well. Both of them will work. In the status bar, you have the option to enable quick pull down, let's say from the right hand side, and it's working well and good. Network traffic, you may also show the music player lyrics in the status bar. System icons which you want to show or hide, you may enable or turn them off from there. Clock positioning, you may change the positioning as well. Show seconds, show AM PM as well. Brightness in battery indicator styles, let's say landscape, and as you could see, it's now changed. You may also show the percentage, which is required for me at least. So brightness control as well, let's see. This is also working along the expected lines. Yes, it's working well and good. Quick settings, so you have the option to tweak the opacity of the background. Well, I don't know, it's even if I set it to 100%, now it's somewhat good, so I have to keep it around, let's say 79%. But I guess apart from the 100% mark, it's either 100 or null. Anything in between will also give you complete transparency. Although it's not a major cause of concern, but still it's a UI bug. So for now, I'll have to keep it at 100%. You may also add a header image, choose from an image collection. So let's see, let's say Derpfest fresh and stored image headers. These are the various images. You may choose from any one of these. So it has quite a lot of options to choose from. Let's say Avengers, and let's go with this one. And as you could see, it's now set up. You may also add your own custom image if required. Then apart from that, we have already checked all these features. You may change the brightness, slider positioning at the top or bottom. Then style, there are quite a lot of style. Let's say outline, and as you could see, the outline style is here. Apart from that, leafy outline is also the one which I use generally. Anyways, let's go back, and over here these are the tweaks only. Then in the USB configuration, you may choose from the charging, data transfer, or anything of your choice. In the navigation board, you may choose from either the gesture or 3-button. There is no 2-button navigation gesture, but that's again nothing much to worry about. Apart from that, you may go to the display section, and from here in the lock screen, if there is any other tweaks, so you may add your text on the lock screen. Let's say droid win, and you might have to do a system UI restart. Only then the text might work. Okay, let me see. Let me remove the USB cable once. And so as of now, okay, it's shown there at the bottom, as you could see beneath the lock screen. So it's working in the lock screen also without a system UI restart. Dynamic clock, it will change the clock size depending upon the content on the lock screen. Let's keep it enabled. Clock font style, there are quite a lot of options that you could choose from. As you could see, it's a never ending list. So let's say 3D isometric board, and let me have a look. So this is the clock style. You will get the same clock across both the AOD and the lock screen. This looks somewhat different, and I haven't seen this clock style in numerous ROMs. I guess this is the first ROM in fact. So you may also show ripple effect animation when you unlock with the fingerprint. Left to check phone, tap to check phone. Ambient display, AOD is always on, is also enabled, which I have shown you just now. Swipe to wake. So swipe to sensor to wake the device when it's currently sleeping. This might lead to some additional battery drainage as well. Then next up we have the Monet theming engine. So you may choose the theme from here or apply any custom color from here as well. If you choose a theme, let's say rainbow, the change is implemented, but it's quite minimal and you might not notice it at one go. Vibrant, so let's go with the vibrant only, and you may also tweak all the other UI elements from this section and switch between the dark and light theme from here. Override force dark mode for those apps which does not support the dark mode. For example, earlier, I am not sure the right now, but earlier the Google Opinion Rewards did not had a dark mode, so I had to use this feature to get the job done. Then you may also change the display size and text for each of these, as you could see, corresponding to your requirement. You may change it, increase or decrease it. Let's go back. Then color tweaks, refresh rate, it's always set to 120 Hz, which will lead to additional battery drainage, but by default it will adapt based on the apps you are using. If you turn it off, it will be 120 at all times, which will lead to more battery drainage as well. Then you have the option to tap to wake, tap to sleep, double tap on the screen to wake the device. Let me see that it's working, and double tap to sleep. So you have to tap on the status bar, it's working, or on the lock screen. So all these features are working well and good. There is no issue whatsoever with these features. Advanced display scenario set the, so I am not quite sure with this feature. I'll have to have a look at that as well. Then apart from that, you get the AOSP features as well with the wallpaper and style. As you might be aware, you could change the theme from here, change the lock screen clock style from this section. These are the numerous clock that you get across all the AOSP ROM, but the ones which I have set up, this one are the ROM specific features. You may change themes from this section or choose any other color from here, switch between light and dark theme from here as well. Let's go with the dark only, and you may add icons on the left and right at the bottom of the lock screen. By default it's set to torch and the camera, which is the right move for me. Then you may change the icons in the status bar as well. Let me enable a few icons. Okay, let's say flashlight, So plane mode and auto rotate, and now let's keep a track at the top right. Kai, this is the one from Samsung, I suppose, earlier times, Xperia, and they are now implemented. Apart from that, fingerprint animations. Okay, so it has this as well. It's quite great to see. You have the numerous animation, although there are not icons, but animations are there, which looks quite nice. So you may choose from any one of these styles as well and get the job done. Then okay, the last thing remaining is in the home screen. You may enable the themed icon from here, and the app drawers theme will now take place. They are currently not shown here. Quick setting gradient theme, let me see what this means. We have to wait for a few seconds and then only it will be shown, I suppose. Okay, so it's asking for a system UI restart. We will do that as well. Apart from that, app grid size 5x5 is the one which I always use, and that is the maximum. Okay, we have 5x7 as well, but 5x5 will get the job done. Currently the app is not shown here because I need a system UI restart, but that will take some time. I guess that has now happened on its own. Let me have a look. So if that's not happening, then I will have to do a system UI restart. You might face these issues for the first time. That is completely normal and nothing to worry about. From the subsequent time, that will not happen. So just let me go to that section once again, the settings. This is the one. So from here, let me show you. So now the apps will be visible. You could see the theme icons. This was the case initially, and this is the theme icon. Quick setting gradient theme. There. Okay, so in the options, the tiles which are enabled, there is a gradient colors. As you could see, it has been implemented, which looks quite nice. The app grid size also I have chosen 5x5. You may go up till 5x7. Then the icons font has been done. So these are the various font style that you could choose from, and the fonts will be applied across both the system apps, third-party apps, and each and every element of the OS. And again, there are quite a lot of fonts that you could choose from. So anyways, let's say this looks quite different, unique, and as you could see, it's now implemented. You may also change the app icon shape, and the same will be applied across both the home screen and the app drawer as well. As you could see, it's now implemented, and that's just about it. Okay, let's have a look at the home settings as well. So go to the home settings, and from here you may tweak the various elements. First off, we have the icons. So if you are using any third-party icons, then you may go from here and choose the third-party icon set. And next up is the home screen. So there are the various tweaks for the home screen. Double tap to sleep as well, and at a glance widget. Swipe to access Google app. This is the at a glance widget. Let me show you. It's shown here at the top, the date and time. And swipe to access Google app. This is the one. You may turn it off as well, and then you can no longer access the Google app. Then you may show or hide the status bar on the home screen. Dark theme status bar. Google search bar at the bottom, you may remove this as well. Let's see how it looks now. It will undergo a restart, and upon a restart we will then have a look. So as you could see, it's now removed, but for now I will like to keep it. So these UI issues are quite normal and there in most of the ROMs. You just have to lock it and unlock it once, or if that does not work out, just do a system UI restart. So anyways, moving on, next up we have the app drawer, and you may enable the theme icons in the app drawer as well, which is quite great to see. And let's do a transparency of the app drawer. Let's keep it at 50%, let's suppose. And now let me see how it looks. So this looks quite nice, in fact. Then next up, okay, first let me enable the Google app, because I want search bar in the home screen. I will be using that quite often. In the recent, you have the option to show the memory info, tweak the opacity. Let's keep it at 50% once again. So the transparency is given for each and every element. You may add the Google Lens and screenshot option as well. Let's now wait for around 10 seconds and then everything will be implemented. Let's check out that. Now let me verify it. So okay, so again I might have to do an unlock and lock of the phone. So this has become a regular thing for the first time usage. So let me do a recent screen. As you could see, the transparency effect is there, and you also have the Google Lens app over here for the search bar. Okay, it requires internet, which is quite obvious. Then next up, let's see what all features we are remaining. Then we have the miscellaneous tweaks. Then you may also hide the app from here. Background blur depth for the wallpaper, which I am not a fan of. And once you've applied the features, you may also do a restart from this here. This will restart the system launcher and the feature will be implemented. Then apart from that, let me see the spoofing. I was not able to find the spoof features. spoof, whether they are not. Okay, spoofing is not there in this ROM. The component spoofing I was requiring, but it's not here. So okay, so some other tweaks such as the Wi-Fi icon style, these are shown here as you could see. Then the signal or carrier data style icons are here. Then apart from that, okay, keep this point in mind that if you, by default, I think the ROM might not pass the basic and the device test. For that, you could refer to my guide and pass the test via the plain integrated fix module. But in some cases, if you want or the app requires to pass a strong test as well, then you may refer to my guide and pass the strong test using a keybox XML file, and you may refer to my video as well, and then you will pass all the 3 tests if required. But in most cases, that is not required. Anyways, on that note, we round up this video. If you have any query with regard to any of the steps, do let me know in the comment section, and thanks a lot for watching.